Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there was a young orphan named Kale. He had been discovered as a baby at the edge of a dense, mysterious forest, swaddled in a blanket with a simple crest sewn onto it, an emblem no one in the village recognized. The villagers, though puzzled by his origins, took him in and raised him as one of their own. As Kale grew, it became clear he was no ordinary boy. He was stronger, quicker, and more perceptive than others his age. But what set him apart most was his heart, a heart full of courage and compassion. Though he was an orphan, Kale never let his circumstances define him. Instead, he dreamed of one day making a difference, of leaving the village to explore the world beyond the mountains that surrounded his home. One fateful day, a group of travelers arrived at the village, bringing with them tales of a troubled kingdom across the mountains. The king of this distant land had passed away, leaving no heir, and the kingdom was on the brink of chaos. The travelers spoke of a prophecy, one that foretold the rise of a true king who would come from humble beginnings, marked by a symbol unknown to most. Intrigued, Kale showed them the crest from his blanket, the one thing he had from his past. The travelers were astonished. It was the very symbol from the prophecy, the crest of the ancient royal family that had been lost to time. Realizing his destiny, Kale set out on a journey to this distant kingdom. The path was fraught with challenges, treacherous mountains, dark forests filled with creatures of legend, and rivers that flowed with mysterious currents. But Kale faced each challenge with unwavering determination, gathering allies along the way, people who saw in him the qualities of a true leader. When Kale finally arrived at the kingdom, he found it in disarray. The lords and nobles were squabbling for power, and the people were suffering. But Kale, with his courage and compassion, began to rally the people. He spoke of a new future, one where justice and kindness would reign. His words ignited hope in the hearts of the kingdom's people, and they began to see him as the leader they had been waiting for. In time, Kale uncovered the truth of his heritage. He was indeed the last living descendant of the ancient royal family, hidden away as a baby to protect him from those who sought to destroy the bloodline. With this revelation, the nobles who opposed him had no choice but to accept him as their rightful king. Kale was crowned with great ceremony, and as king, he fulfilled the prophecy. He ruled with wisdom and fairness, always remembering the humble village that had raised him. Under his reign, the kingdom flourished, becoming a land of peace and prosperity. And so, the orphan who had once been found at the edge of a forest, became a king, not because of his birthright, but because of his heart. He proved that true royalty is not defined by blood, but by the courage to face adversity and the kindness to lead with compassion.